Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a podcast.
I was like, is he having a stroke, or is the dead air just deliberate?
So this is just another retrocast. We've got another podcast called The Snooze Button, which is based around TV, movie, and pop culture news.
Lists.
And that's released, Paul.
Oh, Tuesdays? Should we go for a Tuesday?
It's Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
It is. This one, just another retrocast, is all about stuff from our childhood, and we release that one every
Thursday.
See, Ross is on the ball.
It's not even really our childhood now, is it? At this point,
I'm still learning the days of the week.
At this point, being a young adult and teenager counts as retro, mate.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch Scream 2 and you go, this is a period piece, then you know 1997 is retro.
Yeah.
The noughties are classed as retro now. We've gone from being retro to vintage or antique.
Just being old gits sat in a room with microphones.
We are antiques.
Oh, well.
Brilliant.
On with the show. So, this week, I think we are starting our Lego retrocast, ladies and gents. So, if you like a bit of Lego, which I think we all do, then this is the show for you.
Is it safe to say this is probably going to be in two parts?
It is going to be in two parts. Part one is going to be with Mr. Paul Brown.
Hello there.
Mr. Ross Murphy.
Hello.
And me, Mr. Chris Quinton. Hopefully, when we get around to doing part two of this podcast, we'll have Adam Gattrell with us. Hello, Adam, if you're listening.
He's more of our resident Lego expert, isn't he?
He's our Lego...
He's our Lego master builder.
Our Lego go-to man,
and,
master builder.
Well, Ghostbusters Lego collector.
Chris has got a load of unfinished Lego in the corner over there. He probably has.
I do.
You've got so many bits in that set, and it's just been half built for so long. You probably haven't got all the bits now.
How long have you had that? That's as long as we've been doing podcasts.
Yes.
That hasn't changed.
It hasn't built any more of it.
I've not touched it in more than 6 months.
It's the Millennium Falcon, isn't it?
It is the UCS Millennium Falcon. And it sits in the corner of my room.
It sort of just looks like scaffolding at the minute.
Mainly because the room that we podcast in, it's a bit chaotic, isn't it, really? Because, like...
The only way that would ever get built is if we started recording video footage for our podcast, and he'd be like, "Oh, we need a prop now." But Chris, you would. I don't know when at any point you would get away with building that and saying to Jilly, "I really must build this Lego." She'd be like, "No."
See this box here that I'm kicking?
Go on.
That's a Death Star. That is.
You're kidding.
No.
Which one? The model one, or
the original Imperial Death Star.
The one that's not.
Oh, not Death Star, sorry.
Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
Oh, I'd build that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let me just take it home and build it.
Just
I probably wouldn't give it back.
Super glue all the bits together and we'll stick it on the wall.
Let me take it home and I'll put it on my shop.
Is it? Because would you actually just glue it together?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I'd like to do with the Millennium Falcon, to be honest.
There we go.
Put
That's our first thing. To glue or not to glue. Which,
yeah.
I mean, some see
no,
that as
not
a massive...
Hang on. When you were a child, you didn't get Lego and go, definitely going to glue all this together.
No,
you built a kit and within about 10 minutes you smashed it apart and built something else with
well,
it.
Yeah.
This is why we need to have this conversation. Don't move on too quickly.
Yeah.
So to glue or not to glue, Paul?
I would say it's probably sacrilege, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Would you glue anything else together in a position, in a pose, do you know what I mean? What would you do with other toys?
Airfix models?
Similar... Yeah, but they're built for that, aren't they? They don't they don't click together. They glue together. Whereas Lego bricks click.
Yeah, I think unless it's on show, like as a piece, like somewhere, like one of those giant. That's right. Let's just talk about them real quick. When Lego make giant versions of things,
yeah.
That they have done for since they've made Lego.
Do you mean like having a big Batman statue in a corner or something like that?
Yeah, I hate them.
Why?
I just think they look rubbish.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
They've got a whole park based on this.
Yeah, I know. I don't like.
I've been there. It's not great.
Large scale Lego because there's no artistry there. It's just being able to throw people and bricks at something.
Right.
Like anybody could build if you had enough Lego bricks, you could just build a Ford Fiesta out of it.
Yeah, sure.
And it wouldn't but when somebody does like a 1/25th scale Star Destroyer, that's cool.
There's more artistry in that. I suppose
There's
I
more,
understand
like,
what you're saying.
when somebody gets the Star Destroyer and goes, it's just not quite big enough. I need to make a 4 meter one instead of a 1 meter one. That's like model making.
Yeah.
Getting 700 bricks of because some of these kits, like a Lego cactus, yeah, in a Wild West scene, yeah,
Yep.
is just a load of green bricks stuck together with you could do that. You could sketch a cactus and you wouldn't. No, I reckon somebody fairly good at building Lego could do it without even having to sketch it out.
Right.
Could,
you mean a big cactus, you mean?
Yeah.
You don't mean a little one. Right, okay.
Yeah. I don't like them.
Okay, that's fair
That's
enough.
why I've never been to Legoland.
I actually agree with what you're saying there. There's more technical ability in building something smaller.
The charm of it, I think, is working with the restrictions of the scale and the product itself.
Yeah.
Because it's simplifying everything and still understanding what it is.
Because once you get to a larger scale as well, it's a lot easier to make a shape.
Yep.
Yeah, of
because
course.
it's just the infill. It's just all you're doing is building. It's like when they build those large things. It's just like it's an 8-bit version of something. Isn't it?
Basically that's it.
It's 8 or 16-bit. It's like when they go, "We've just made a full-size Batmobile," and I was like, "Yeah, it's a full-size Batmobile for Batman on the Super Nintendo."
Yeah.
It would be more impressive if all the technical workings of it, you turn the steering wheel and the wheels move like they do on a small kit.
Yeah. Well, Technics Level. Don't get me started on Technics Level.
I've
got a Technics Wall-E, Disney's Wall-E downstairs.
Wow.
That was fun to build. And I can imagine a big, large-scale version of that it'd be like you say, it wouldn't be articulate, it wouldn't move around, it would just be this solid, big mass of bricks.
My brother had one of the... I don't think he ever built it. I think he was bought it and he wasn't old enough to build it. He had one of the Technics cars where it had... The cool thing was so much of it worked. Because they're just like a skeletal frame, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it's like a buggy. But it had the drive... Because it was 4-wheel drive, so it had a drive... Or even... I think you could even put it into 4-wheel drive. So the back drive shaft turned the back wheels, and then you could make it 2-wheel drive and drive the front wheels as well.
Yeah.
And the engine pistons moved up and down as you moved it along. It had suspension.
I remember the
and stuff
adverts.
like that. And the steering wheel steered the car. Like the only thing it was missing was that it was remote control, because then that would just been like cool.
Amazing.
So
Can you not get like a Lego internal combustion engine as well, a big one?
Yeah, they probably have done
that?
a lot.
Right in thinking I've seen that somewhere.
I think they did that. Yeah. But I don't remember when I first got any... I remember having Lego. I don't remember where I got it from, where it came from. I don't remember any particular sets. Do any of you to remember?
I remember having
like
particular
that?
sets from when I was small, yeah. But we're going to go back to glue or not to glue.
I say you don't glue any Lego ever.
Instances where you would glue something together, definitely. Something like a Star Wars model, a kit, something that is supposed to be something, and it's got specific pieces in the set that make it that something.
Yep.
And yeah, you could use them for other things, but they've been specially made to make sure that this model is going to be, a Star Wars kit. If you want that to hang on your wall, then if you really want that to hang on your wall, you're going to glue it. Because if you don't, it's going to fall apart.
I think what you're doing wrong there is hanging the Millennium Falcon on the wall. I think the UCS Millennium Falcon can only go in one thing, and that's in a glass-topped see-through coffee table.
Right, okay.
Which I have seen them done, and it looks really cool.
Okay.
I thought you'd have it on a large...
the Star Destroyers are a bit easier because they can go quite often on top of a bookcase.
Right.
See, I've always wanted the Super Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Because it's long and not as wide.
Okay.
But it's still like 350 quid, isn't it?
I'd go for a large glass case.
Can't be bothered to dust it. That would be my other thing. Because it's not easy to dust Lego, is it? Because its shape.
Yeah.
Unless it's stuck together. Unless it's glued.
But
take it outside and hose it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Large glass case and build it up on clear Lego bricks, so it's hovering off the ground.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do. I'd build my own stands out of clear Lego.
You could just hang it from fishing wire from the ceiling.
No, that's all glued together. That's break the brick in the law. No.
Or get enough Lego tape
stuck
to the wall to hold the thing.
There is that. Yeah.
Adam got Lego tape for his birthday, I think.
It's only going to work so much, that stuff, isn't it?
Depends on the surface.
It's only a bit of 3M tape with a bit of blobby Lego on the front of it. that's going to do is pull the render of the wall down before it pulls the model off.
Yeah.
Could ruin your wallpaper.
Big time.
And yeah, there's probably a lot of pissed off parents out there thinking, why did I buy that for my kids?
I'm going to bash it now, but it was a present from his girlfriend, wasn't it, for his birthday? So I don't want to put him down, but now we're just recording a podcast behind his back. Yeah.
Is it becoming the modern day wood chip wallpaper?
Maybe.
I think it is, isn't it? It's going to be causing problems for
Oh
everybody.
no, it'll come off fairly easily. It'll just take everything else with it.
My other argument for not putting the Millennium Falcon up on the wall is it probably doesn't look that's not the angle to view that ship from.
Right. I think it will look quite cool, hanging, just facing downwards on the wall.
Oh, no, if you were going to hang it on the wall, you'd point it up, wouldn't you?
No.
Then I'd have it coming like that way so you can see the... I'd have it doing a sort of... What
A
degree
slant.
angle is that?
I tell you what,
45.
is what I used to do with my Airfix kits and like dangle them from the ceiling.
That's what I just said.
Did you?
Yeah, on fishing wire.
Yeah.
And Paul said no.
Well, you can go with it, but you're going to have to glue them together, aren't you? He's even got the fishing wire, look.
I have.
It's over there already.
I
Sacrilege.
think you'll find that's vape wire, mate.
Oh, okay.
It's to build
I think there's been
coils
a vape up there.
It's got to be done. Someone out there, please change the name of your vape shop.
So, right, specific sets that I remember when I was a kid.
Yes.
I remember getting, like, the original, like, stuff that was meant for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it was a house.
Yeah.
I remember getting a white house. It never, ever became that white house.
No, never.
Because
With the red bricks for the red slanted roof bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never built the house. I just had a bunch of Lego.
Yeah,
and that was amazing.
Mm.
And then I remember getting some stuff, some Technics Lego. Was it Technics? It was a spaceship. It was just like in the Lego movie, I want to build a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like the spaceship that he...
Was that
It's
Technics?
supposed
Because
to
they
build.
actually had just a
I can't
space
remember
range,
if it-
didn't
oh,
they?
maybe it was
they
just
did.
space range
Because
then.
that's the only ones I ever...
I was quite
can
young,
only
so-
remember buying the Spaceman range.
Right.
And I acquired, I don't know where from, all the other bits. Because I would build... You'd have your base unit, wouldn't you? And you build like something that looks like a house. But I had this thing about building like a ruins. And I'd have my mask action figures.
Yeah.
Hiding there.
Ah.
And the great thing about it was...
Similar scale.
Yeah, it was exactly, this is it. So it worked for so many other little action figures.
Yep.
And the beauty of it is you'd build it and you could blast chunks of brick out.
Right.
And have it lying on foot, and then you could have it blast out and hit your little characters.
Ooh.
I used to
And they'd
use
be buried under
my
it.
stuff from crossbows and catapults to shoot at my Lego.
Yeah.
with.
See,
Remember
that
the
works.
game Crossbows and
Yeah.
Catapults?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those ones that I always wanted but never owned or played.
I can tell you about loads of Lego sets because my cousins are about 3 or 4 years older than me, so they'd accumulated more Lego because you accumulate it by the box. I mean, you end up with a massive box of Lego.
Yeah.
Just
They had
containers.
this probably 1.5 meter wide bench which had a padded top. And you hooked it up full of Lego.
Yeah.
So even before I had Lego, they already had about 3 times what I ever had of Lego.
Right.
But I really remember they had, I don't know if they were magazines or catalogues. I think they were catalogues because back in those days you would just sell a catalogue. Like we said before in an old podcast about the Tamiya catalogue was just such a joy to look through.
Yeah.
Because it's just cool, wasn't it? So Lego used to do these catalogues and with their sets in that were all, by the time I was able to look through this catalogue, they were already out of print and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened back then was the castle stuff came out.
Oh, yeah.
And there were like the sort of the good guys and the bad guys, but they
Yep.
never ever called the good guys and the bad guys. They just looked slightly different. Like the colour scheme
Yeah.
of their the colour scheme of the good guys, they sort of had red and blue and yellow lions. They're a bit sort of Richard Lionheart, and then the bad dudes had the axes and
It was
the
grey
pickaxes
and black, and
stuff. But their castle colours back in those days were just the bricks were yellow or red.
Right.
So
So the actual castle itself was yellow or red.
yeah, and
I
then
don't remember that.
So then later on, when I had more castles, so I remembered this from seeing it in my cousin's books, and this they had some of their Lego books were so old, like but already starting to feature like castles and space.
Yeah.
But like some of their old stuff had the horses were made of Lego, actual individual Lego bricks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
really,
remember them
really
being
old.
singular, like a single part that you'd just pop your little Lego man into the middle of it.
Yeah, and
It
then
was just a single moulded piece. rather than being made out of loads of Lego pieces.
Yeah, no, the really early, like when they first did the castle stuff, some
Right.
of the, like the knights sat on horses were just folded over. They were just sat. You do that thing where you take the legs off so it looks like it's sat on something.
Right.
And yeah, I'll try and find some images that I make. You know, when you look at stuff on the internet, your brain just goes, I remember it all now.
Yeah.
It's all coming back. I know everything about my childhood that was stored away by my brain like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So then I had loads of. So I did the baddies and the goodies in yellow and red, yeah. And then later on, they came out, and the good guys, all of their castle sets were grey, and then all the bad castle sets were like a black.
Yeah.
So then you had the matching things that go with it. Yeah, I had them, and then I definitely, I had a few space bits. I had like a lights and sound space bit, and I had a few of the like grey, the 12 or 14-inch
Base
units,
yeah.
but with they had the rippled like craters from
yeah,
the moon
yeah.
and stuff.
They were
And
great.
I had quite a bit of space stuff. See, the thing is, like, remember everything I've ever said about my dad and demons in your toys and stuff. Like, Lego's always a safe bet.
Yeah, yeah.
You're always going to get Lego because it's like the most wholesome toy in the world, isn't
You can
it?
make as many demons as you like with Lego.
And so I had a bit of space, but I had shitloads of castle, and the best set I had was Robin Hood's Hideout.
See, that was really good,
Robin
actually.
Hood's
I remember
Hideout,
that
okay.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they brought out Robin Hood, or like, I don't know, they were just outlaws. I suppose they didn't.
That's
have
right,
the-
yeah.
Well, actually, probably can't copyright Robin Hood unless he's a Hasbro Transformer. And yeah, then I had.
Please
Then
listen
I
to
had
our
the
previous
Robin Hood.
podcast to find that joke funny. Thank you.
Then I had the Robin Hood stuff as well, and yeah, I had loads and loads of Lego castle stuff. And then I think the last bit of Lego I ever really had is I dabbled in the Pirates, which came out not long after the castle stuff got really good.
Right.
And then I didn't have it anymore.
I like the pirate stuff.
Yeah, I
I've
had
just
some of the really
recently-
early pirate stuff, like a couple of the not the really small sets, but the sort of middle sized sets of like tiny boats, like little boats, and but it was just cool stuff then. Like the parrot came out with the pirates, the shark came out with the pirates,
yeah.
and then
Have
I'll tell you
seen
what it
the-
was. Pirates were the first ones where they changed the faces.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know if they'd
beards and
started
things.
doing it with the Lego Town stuff at that time, but when the Pirates came out was when they started putting stuff
Right.
on the
it's like the eye patch image.
yeah,
and
the eye
and
patch and the
grimace
ginger
and the
beards and the goatees and all the different stuff. And I think they might have even. I don't think skin colour had changed then,
Right.
but I definitely remember they were starting to have different things on the faces and stuff.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Did any of you always end up with loads of like heads with no faces on them?
They
Like, I
would-
probably
they
had
did
like
rub
a
off, didn't they?
12-inch line of heads that just had no faces on anymore.
Right.
I always ended up with bloody windows. The window pieces, you know, the ones.
Yeah.
Loads of them.
I'll tell you what, you always ended up with the windows. You ended up with the window piece, but the panes, they used to have like these, not panes of glass, but
I know
like,
what you mean. The actual
yeah,
flappy.
well,
old
and
bit.
some of them had like, they had the inside glass, but they also had outside shutters.
Yeah.
They all fucked off years like
Yeah.
they were the first things you lost, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, they'd
Always.
appear under your bed when you're moving house 20 years later. Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, there's stuff, some Lego just disappears, doesn't it?
True.
I sold my Lego probably about 10 years ago. I don't know if it was a good idea or not, but I don't know if you know, when you just sell bricks and they're not special enough, you just sell it by the kilo.
Yeah.
And like you
absolutely.
just sell it as you just go, right, I've got 5 kilos of Lego, and that there's just a going rate of 5 kilos of Lego. But I sorted all the minifigs out, as many as I could, and I got about £250 for the minifigs. I
Bloody
sold them
hell.
as a job lot.
Right.
And I think it was probably mostly because I think there was a complete set of the Robin Hood ones and loads of the pirates.
The pirate sets. Have you seen them recently, by any chance?
No, I haven't.
Because, well, I don't know if it's the case that all pirate sets are, but there's some nice Pirates of the Caribbean sets around. And if you like Pirates of the Caribbean or not, they still look cool. Like the Black Pearl set. It's beautiful. Really, really nice looking Lego ship, you know. And I bought the one from the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie just recently. And, well, that franchise is suffering a bit. I don't know if I've made a mistake, because I'm purchasing stuff for to profit, you know, because Lego is doing very well as far as value is concerned at the moment. It's
it goes up more than gold, doesn't it? It's
It
a better
does, yeah.
investment than gold.
That's it. So, yes.
What are you doing? Getting two and chucking them in the loft?
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, for instance, the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. I've bought Well, in actual fact, I've got 4 of those, but paid £40 each for them, and around Christmas time, I expect I'll be able to sell them for more like 100.
Brilliant.
So
Quite short-term investments then.
yeah, certainly for some of those specific pieces, the Doctor Who one, for instance. Well, in actual fact, most of the Lego Ideas stuff, because it's limited, and people.
What used to be Cusco, or whatever it's called, Cusco.
What's Cusco? Sorry.
Where you could design a Lego.
Oh right,
and
and send your
comes out,
ideas in. Yeah, it's now Lego Ideas. Yeah,
So have Lego got the license to Doctor Who now?
they did a Lego Ideas set, so it's just one play set.
Cool. Because was it character had it
But
for ages,
Doctor
didn't they?
Who's in
Don't know.
Doctor Who's made it into the game, hasn't it?
Into
I
the
think you
Lego
find-
game.
Yeah,
I don't
Lego
know.
Dimensions. I think there's Doctor Who sets in that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The Goonies have made it into Lego Dimensions.
Somebody was talking about making a Goonies set, actually, a physical set.
Do you know what I loved when I was a child and I don't like anymore?
What's that?
Like my attitude towards them's flipped. I used to love play sets.
Right.
Like a Lego play set gave you so much more play. Like what I was saying about the Robin Hood. That's a cool play set because it's like the hidden. Like they used to live in a tree in a cave.
Yeah.
And it came with loads of figures. And it's like, there's ones I've seen that I've gone, oh, that would have been brilliant. Like Jabba's Palace and Endor have come out recently, and both of those are like, oh, if I was younger, I'd really love them. But the best example of those is like how my attitudes have changed is the Death Star. They do a Death Star playset, and then they do a Death Star. They do a model of Death Star 2, don't they?
There's 2 of them, yeah. There's one of them's spherical, and the other one's the Death Star sort of while it's being built, so it's incomplete.
And so the incomplete Death Star 2, I look at it and I'm going, yeah, that would look cool. And the one that comes with about 25 minifigs and has got each individual room from the saga in, like the old Kenner cardboard one. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. But when I was 10, that would have been the absolute bee's knees.
See, a Goonies playset, I'm pretty sure that would be a pirate ship. So yeah, they'd be much like what you're saying. I suppose you'd have little figures to run around.
Custom.
And what's his name? Who's the guy from the Goonies? Hey, you guys.
Chunk. You can get him. He's
It's
available.
not Chunk.
Sloth. You can buy Sloth.
What, Lego Sloth?
Sloth is available in Lego Dimensions.
Oh, in the computer game again?
Yes, but when you say he's in the game, you get physical figures of him.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
They've done Indiana Jones, haven't they? Surely.
Yeah, see, again,
I
I
think
would
that'd
have
be
been
great.
all over those. Like, they're excellent play sets. But there's nothing in Indiana Jones where you go, I want the model of that, unless it was that flying wing. That would be cool. You know, the flying the bomber.
Yep.
That they do a cool big size set of that. Would be excellent.
So I'd like to see the whole bit where he's running away from the ball, the big boulder.
Yeah, that would make a cool
That'd be
play
a great
set as
play
well.
set. Yeah.
It's
The
hard
running
to
of the
make
ball.
round Lego, but
Yeah, but I think they do sometimes just make. Yeah.
they would just make a Lego boulder, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there Indiana Jones playsets?
Yeah.
There are. I thought I was making it up. I thought it was a mismemory, but no.
So I was just thinking about.
I mean, that's a discussion for our next part of the podcast, but there is Lego everything now.
Right, yeah.
Well, is there a franchise that? Yeah, is there a franchise that hasn't been covered yet by Lego?
Well, there are.
They've done enough everything, haven't they? I think the only ones they haven't got are the ones that character snapped up, wasn't it? I think they got Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
There have been Turtles Lego figures.
Was that Lego?
I don't know if they are official or
no,
not.
I think their
but-
character got them because
Right.
the character had the original. They got Doctor Who license as well.
So do they make Lego type figures then?
Yeah, they make
Character.
Lego type figures, and they're official, but it's by character.
I know there's a load of companies that make custom Lego now, isn't
Yeah.
there? Like there's a really good series of like World War II Lego, and it's really cool, like stuff you would build a Tamiya kit of or a Airfix kit of, and then they're just like, but it's just like a Normandy beach playset, and it's just
Brilliant.
got Germans manning MG42s and bunkers and stuff like
That
that.
sounds great.
And they're cool, but they are so expensive.
There you go then. Look, when we get to part 2 with Adam, then we'll talk about specific sets and properties that have and haven't been covered.
Cool. Yeah.
For this one, let's carry on with to glue or not to glue.
Well, whilst we're on about that,
Go on.
that's technically a modification, isn't it?
What is?
Gluing.
Right, okay.
Right, that's a big modification. That's a big ooh.
Okay.
But I see that custom figures is a big thing nowadays. Did you ever try and make custom figures of characters when you were a kid?
Okay.
So was any like toy that you couldn't afford or it wasn't available?
You mean like
and
trying to
thought,
make an alien or something like that?
yeah, or that like Automan, that was
No,
the one I was trying
no,
to think of. The other,
because-
do you know what I mean? Would you never try colour them in or make stickers for them or anything like that?
Lego was such a powerful brand in its own right, and it had such cool. Because you basically
It
had,
is the
back in
ultimate
the day, you
crossover,
had
isn't it?
Castle, space, town, and I'm trying to think. There was one more maybe, and maybe just building. Yeah, and it was so good. You didn't go, oh, do you know what? I wish there was Star Wars Lego. I don't think the thought of Star Wars Lego even crossed your mind.
No.
While I was on holiday in Wales just recently, we were in a small town with not much, but they did have a toy shop, and
Yep.
the toy shop really focused on Lego. Now you could see that the top floor, which had a nice big presentation window in its eaves with these big like vintage Lego figures in them. Behind these big vintage Lego figures was a big banner
Yeah.
that said, Lego, build your dreams. And it made me think, now, when we are given a Star Wars set or something like that these days, are we being encouraged to build our dreams?
No.
No.
I shouldn't have asked that as a closed question, should I?
Well, no, but no, it does. It's still an open because it's how you define it. We appreciate it. I feel as an adult, you want to recreate things. You're not in the zone. You're not a play person. What I loved about Lego as a kid. I didn't have a great deal of it, but you didn't just play with it. You were in there. Do you know what I mean? If you were building a house or building a den or building a cave or anything, you were in that as you were building it.
Yeah.
You were there. You were that scale in your mind. You get so lost in it.
Yeah.
You don't get that so much anymore. It's all about emulating and you get a hint of that, and to get that you need to attach it to something that as an adult your mind doesn't shoot off in those areas as easily, just to play, just to go wild with an idea. You need to attach it to something that you also love, another franchise, and I think that helps. So it's a form of creating your dreams, your passions, isn't it? Your things you love, but on a different level. Now,
yeah, true.
If you're going to give a kid the Star Wars Lego, again, the likelihood they're going to mash it up and make their own thing with it.
Yeah.
They aren't necessarily going to follow that.
I would bloody encourage them to
Yeah,
not follow the instructions.
yeah.
I'd take and in fact, I wouldn't give them that set in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's probably just my perception of Lego, exactly like we were saying was it in this podcast? No, it was a previous one. We were talking about Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
And about how they are different if you go into a Disney store
Yeah.
than if you went into like a serious toy shop, or an
Yeah,
adult
yeah,
toy shop
it was the
like
previous
Forbidden
podcast,
Planet.
yeah.
So maybe it's the same thing with Lego. Maybe the only reason that I only see Star Wars or Ghostbusters or Doctor Who sets is because I'm an adult and those things appeal to me. If I were a 5-year-old kid and I went into a Lego shop, would I see loads of sets that are just like, you could just take them off the shelf and it doesn't matter, the kids would just rip them out of the boxes anyway and just build whatever, and you don't have to spend 500 quid on them.
As a kid, it's about the adventure.
Are those sets available though? That's what I'm asking.
Did you?
Oh, I see.
I genuinely couldn't tell you, because when I go in the Lego store, it just blows my mind a little bit, and I walk around half the store angry, and then I just fucking Lego's being ruined by itself. It's so. I guess if you get the Lego catalogue, if it's still a thing that exists anymore, you could probably find sets. The thing is, they've almost, even the most buildy ones, they're like, I always think the town stuff was the one way that's like, you buy a house, it gives you enough bricks to make anything.
Yep.
That was a great thing with like those sort of shaped buildings and stuff. You had enough bricks to just build anything. But even that, I think one of the problems with Lego is it's got so many specialist parts now, and it's like when they started doing the fire station and stuff, and it would it had so many specific fire station pieces.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas back in the day, it was probably just made of red and white bricks, and you drove a little fire truck into it.
Yeah.
But now it's just like it's like modern architecture, and it's all glass topped, and you just can't buy 2 Lego sets and build something cohesive out of them.
Sure.
Yeah, there are some they do, but even that it's so meticulous and premeditated and deliberate. Like there's that street set, isn't there, that they sell for lots, don't they? There's a street that they do.
Is it part
And
of the
they-
Lego City range? Or
I don't
something
think
like
it
that?
is part
No.
of Lego City. I think it's something slightly different. It's like they're doing like an American style block.
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
And they're like a play set because they're a shop front on one side and on the back they're
Yeah.
like all of the ins and outs of the shop and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're bringing them out in like they're really expensive sets, tall and wide.
And they
But
all
even that-
sit next to each other and
And
they
and
make
you
up a
can
high
buy
street sort
them,
of thing.
and
Yeah.
then they're making like a big street in like an American street or something like that.
Sure.
But even they don't feel like they would work with the town stuff properly anymore
Got you.
because the scale's just, although scale doesn't change because it's Lego.
They've just become more accurate. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I can't put my finger. I know why I love Lego and I know why I hate it, but they don't marry up anymore. When they announced Lego Star Wars, I thought that was the best thing ever because it's like Lego's brilliant, Star Wars is brilliant. Make Lego Star Wars, and now we are 15 years later, and I couldn't care less.
Is it because of what I'm saying that Lego shouldn't be about having a set kit to build? If you want a set kit to build, you buy an Airfix model, whereas Lego should be about imagination.
Yeah, but I think the problem is any rules you put in place about bricks is so arbitrary that once that tiny little pebble broke where they went, we'll do Star Wars Lego and we're going to have to make a shape to be the cockpit of a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Once they'd done that, then that has just spiraled over years to the point where now you've got The Simpsons, and The Simpsons was a perfect opportunity to just take like there's so much about The Simpsons that is already Lego, like the way the houses look, the colour and everything, and then and the minifigs, right? So they go, oh, Lego figures are yellow, The Simpsons are yellow, but we'll design these custom minifigs that don't work with anything else and look weird because they've insisted on making them look like the show.
Sure.
When you could have just gone, you just needed a guy with no hair and a white top and blue trousers, and that would have been Homer Simpson. You didn't need to make a special Homer Simpson head that only is Homer Simpson.
You've got a fixed head for a Chewbacca as well, like that sort of thing as well. But this is kind of the same argument where who's your target market? Who are you appealing to here? Are you appealing to an adult that really wants it to look spot on, or are you appealing to a child who can use their imagination and in their head it's great?
I think it's both.
I'm pretty sure the Simpsons
like all
sets are
companies
highly
these
priced,
days,
so they're
it's
probably adult sets.
Anybody who will buy our stuff, they want to sell to.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's just-
Yeah.
You know what ties all of this conversation very nicely up together in a beautiful bow?
No,
The Lego Movie. Please tell me you've both seen it.
Oh, yeah.
everything is awesome.
Everything's great when you're part of a team. Right, name the bad guy.
Will Ferrell.
The character's name?
The dad.
It's Mr. Business.
Of course it is. I remember.
Is that not...
Oh, it's almost like, when you think about Lego, it's almost a caricature. This is the glue or not glue, isn't it?
It is.
Yep.
Hang on. I'm assuming Lego didn't have creative control of that movie. Do
I
you
don't
think they
think
just
so.
licensed it? Because actually, what the Lego movie is, in itself, is just a big middle finger to Lego saying, you've diluted your brand to the point where it's lost its essence.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's-
that is the last
yeah.
10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah,
Exactly.
completely. Yeah,
Exactly.
I totally forgot about that, and it does just touch. It sums up everything we've just been trying to chat about. Actually,
I'm sorry I kind of steered you into that. But
no,
yeah.
it's good.
You
Yeah,
planned this, you bastard.
But yeah,
It's a good film, though,
the
isn't it?
Lego Movie is fantastic, and I love it. And my other half has not seen it, so I'm going to go and watch it with her this evening. But everything that we've been talking about, so it really does, like, you've got the little spaceman guy that he's got one purpose, and he's got to build a spaceship. But the rest of it, the rest of the cast, are always encouraged to be creative, be master builders, and that's the little kid. That's at the end of the movie. That's the child saying to his dad, "No, we've got to rip the city apart. You can't stick it all together. That's it's wrong. What's the stuff called? The glue? Do you remember?
Oh,
It's because because it's super glue and it's got like the end of it rolled over and therefore it's called I can't remember.
Oh, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
Important.
But yeah. And the fact that the bad guy is called Mr. Business, boom.
Even as I was getting older, when I was getting older and I would start laying out my Lego in a particular way, it would always be with the idea of playing with it. So you set it.
yeah.
The part of the fun is you set it all up. I've got the good guys over here and the bad guys are over there. But then you don't just go, I'll take a photo of that and glue it together. You go, I'm going to play with that.
Well, it's like I said, I'd build something and smash it to bits as as it was shot at or rolled over with a tank or whatever. It was, and then it would become something else.
See, I went for a stage of 5-7 years ago of buying a bit of Lego and building it and then putting it on the shelf and just going. And in the end, I just boxed it all up and sold it. And because I went, all I've done is build it, and that's all I've wanted to do.
Fair enough.
Like,
That's it.
I don't want to display Lego. I just every now and then want to sit down and build some because it's therapy from life, isn't it?
I think that's a lot of collecting toys or anything like that. You're trying to get an essence of when you were a kid, when you did lose yourself in that play, and you never get that back. And Lego is that one toy that requires you to be so involved mentally on that level of play. It's so difficult to really, really appreciate that element of it as an adult.
Yep.
Incredibly difficult. Collecting robots and things, I can appreciate the aesthetics and what they are and this, that and the other. Obviously, I can put them on a shelf, they look fantastic, and I get those little memories back. Lego, you don't. It's about that building and slotting and plugging it and rebuilding. It's about that play. And
we're also desperate to recapture that we go and spend several £100s on a Lego UCS Millennium Falcon that we're never going to complete. Because it doesn't feel the same as it used to.
And it never will.
Because following instructions is just shit.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying it.
They've just shown all it's so weird that we're in the middle of recording a podcast about Lego, but they've just shown off for the first time today like all the proper pictures of the UCS Millennium Falcon.
Oh, the new one.
It does look fucking brilliant.
If you didn't catch this on a previous podcast, so they are re-releasing the UCS Millennium Falcon, but with a bunch more pieces. It's the same size, but a load of extra features, so you can like really get in there and get involved with the stuff, the inner workings of the ship.
It comes with minifigs as well, so it comes with Han, Leia, Chewie, and C-3PO from the original trilogy, and then old Han and Finn and Rey and BB-8 from the, because you can choose which dish goes on there.
So you can have the square dish on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but that does look brilliant. Doesn't it?
That does look incredible, and maybe that's hitting. Maybe they've actually hit upon what I was just talking about. Then that is an adult's play point, isn't it? You can choose which dish you put on.
Well,
you can put who's going to stand behind these controls, and that's about as much play.
The UCS sets really are not about the play, though, aren't they? They're about the building of
following
a model.
the instructions
because
and gluing them
it
together.
It is much more like.
But I mean, the play element would be when you choose you choose where the figures are going to be and what you imagine them to be doing.
UCS sets don't come with minifigs, do they? Because their scale's wrong.
What's that? Most UCS sets?
Yeah.
I'm yet to think. Oh, even though they don't fit to scale, like the figures wouldn't fit inside them, they still come with minifigs.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah. Like the Imperial Star Destroyer. That
right,
does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it does. But that's a good way of paying for building UCS sets, isn't it? It's just flogging the minifigs.
Yeah, true.
Because they go for silly money, don't they?
And you get a lot of people. If you're one of these people that buys sets on eBay from honest sellers that have got complete sets, whips the minifigs out, and then starts a case because you claim it's incomplete, then honestly, screw you.
Oh, do people do that?
Yeah.
Oh, arseholes.
Absolutely.
Absolute arseholes, yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. So be warned. Buying and selling Lego sets can be fraught with danger.
Yeah.
Is there any recourse for that at all?
Well, any way that you could stop it from happening?
Yeah.
People are protected too heavily by eBay. That's the trouble. And Amazon.
Well, the problem is you get... we talked about this before, but you can run your course with eBay and then you can put a claim in against PayPal, can't you?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to go through the process twice.
Yeah, true. But I have heard horror stories about people buying sets from shops, actually, and exactly the same thing has happened, where people have given a set to their kid on Christmas Day, and they've opened it up, and it's just a bunch of junk in there, like old Action Force figures and stuff to make up the weight, to make it feel as if it's still a complete set. But somebody's purchased it, whipped out a load of stuff, like we've been saying.
Yeah, but at least it had old Action Force figures in it. They're worth some money, aren't they?
No, this is, yeah.
No, I know actually even know dealers that have been done over.
Right.
Yeah, good honest dealers that have bought legitimate sets and they've opened them up and they've just been completely screwed over.
There you go. Don't steal from people. Jesus.
Yeah, but see, that's fine. So that's all right if you're the buyer in that instance, though, and you buy a set and you get done, because you just go, well, it's just bollocks, didn't happen.
Oh, well, no.
Do you ever do that?
See, this is not over eBay.
I mean, a little confession now, right? Sometimes if I buy something on eBay and it comes from China and it's so bad or so as badly described, I don't bother sending it back. I just say it never arrived.
Fair enough. If it's something that's cheap and it's not going to be missed.
Yeah, but no, what's it? It's like I'm just trying to think of something like, oh yeah, I bought this. You know, quite often they'll do this thing where the photos don't quite correlate with what you're buying.
Yeah.
It's the most knocked off China junk thing.
Yeah.
I bought this wake up alarm clock, but like a decent wake up alarm clock is like over £100. Sunrise alarm clock, sorry, is over £100. Yeah, so I took a punt on one for about 30 quid on eBay, and it is like three brightnesses. No, it will turn up its brightness over a period of 5 minutes. It just goes bright,
Bang,
brighter,
bang,
bright. It goes dim, dimmer, dimmest. And I just went, this isn't worth me boxing. This isn't worth me boxing up. Somebody's clearly, it hasn't cost them anything.
Someone's
All
clearly
it's cost
tried to
them
rip
is
me off.
shipping.
Yeah.
And so I just went, never turned up.
No, I normally I would be against it, but yeah, if someone set out to rip you off,
then that's fine.
And
yeah,
then
I understand.
fine,
if
forget
somebody's
it.
ripping you off in sending you something that is very below par, then
yeah, just clearly like they genuinely don't care. They just hope that like they can sell
Dupe enough
1,000 of these and only get 500 of them sent back. Don't
yeah,
they?
yeah,
How they work.
absolutely. There we go. So.
In other news, though, buying fake toys knowingly and they're really good quality is brilliant.
China!
Especially the masterpiece Transformers, fantastic.
There's stuff to be said about that in part 2 of this show.
Yep.
So, if you're listening at home, buy lower level or random blocks for your kids. Don't buy them big Star
Go
Wars
and buy
sets.
10 kilos of Lego on
Exactly.
Yeah. Random
Yeah.
sets.
It costs you nothing.
Encourage imagination and watch the Lego movie because it's bang on.
Yeah,
It's got a lot to say, great messages, and bloody funny too.
Did you know, I don't know if you know, there's a fun little anecdote before we wrap up. There's a beach where Lego washes up.
Yeah, I've heard this.
No.
Somewhere in Devon or Cornwall, down that way.
Yeah.
To any of our foreign listeners, people who live in other countries, probably speak the same language because we only speak one because we're English. The
southwest of the UK.
southwest of England, English pokes into the Atlantic Ocean, and a huge one of those big 24-foot containers.
Yeah.
You know, the ones you see in the movies
Massive
when they go
shipment
for a
things.
shootout down the docks. One of those fell off, or several of them fell off a boat, and one of them was completely full of Lego. So over the years, Lego has constantly washed up on this beach.
Wow.
Because obviously the packaging breaks down.
Yeah,
Do they call it Lego Beach?
Do they call it Lego Beach? I don't know,
It's all about inside. Lego Beach.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you have to do a cover.
Lego Beach. Anyway, sorry, go on.
And so, loads of cool Lego washers up on the beach. And the great thing is quite a lot of it's nautical themed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The irony. Brilliant. Okay.
But imagine how many pieces of Lego end up in one of those containers. It's a lot, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're talking, the size of, this room 3 or 4 times over, aren't we?
Yeah.
Stuffed to the gunnels.
I wonder what the weight of that is.
Who knows?
Not a lot. Lego's not heavy, is it?
Well, you say that. Did you ever see that documentary on... Well, it was like a... Oh, it was... Is it...
On the man who built
James
a giant
May?
cactus of Lego. Oh, yeah.
James May
Yeah, but
did
that's
the
because
toy
they made a
specials,
full-size
didn't
house of it.
he? Yeah.
But there you go. There's a great example of shit Lego building.
Yeah, that's true.
Just making something so big that it didn't need to be built a Lego.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's quite a cool TV program.
While we talk about the weight of containers on container ships, fun fact for you. When they load a container ship, they don't load it by weight. They load it on the knowledge of the person in charge of the cargo of that ship. So they come to you and they say, right, we've got a container here. It's got an old car in it. And they say, okay, that's going to weigh about, 1 ton? Something like that. And I will just store that's about 1 ton on my database. And we'll load that appropriately so we don't get any list on the ship. Somebody comes along with a big pallet, a container full of Lego. They don't know how much it actually weighs.
Shit.
They guesstimate it. So until very, very recently, there's a local company called Strainstall that they work specifically with measuring the tension on materials.
I was going to say, I would have thought just as they pick it up with the crane.
So they're looking at making devices that either they basically sit the container on this device and the strains on the materials within that device tell you the weight, or a section of crane
Yeah.
that can tell you through the strain when it lifts the container and it's going onto the ship. But up until now, honestly, all container ships are just...
That's mental.
They are loaded by guesstimation, yeah.
That's mental.
There must be quite a fairly sound medium.
Yeah,
median.
maybe.
They must know, like, you're never going to go, it's floor to ceiling with bullion and lead. So that's so that's like 4 million tons.
Bag of hammers.
It's probably 2 cars, and like when somebody moves house, it might be like, or emigrates, it might be like 2 cars and 4 wardrobes, and they just go, yeah, that's about 3 tons.
Yeah.
Or it's just full of push. There's only so much. When it's a new product as well, it has to like be given a certain amount of space. Like there's only so many push bikes you'd fit in there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But you would have thought with people...
Push bikes, yes, a ton and a half, that.
People being so crazy
Okay.
hot on fuel efficiency these days, and you would have thought that was a no-brainer.
They're pretty efficient anyway, aren't they?
And in terms of the
but-
amount of cargo they shift,
At any one time.
Yeah, they're
it's
really
a very
efficient.
fuel-efficient
They're
way
really-
to get stuff around the world.
I know we've totally gone off topic and it's really boring as well, but do you know, like container ships, because we live on an island, for people who don't know, we see container ships all the time. They're massive. They don't look like they're moving anywhere, do they? They're faster than like a racing rib. You watch a rib,
Seriously.
and but these container ships do like 35, 40 knots, mate.
And they
Jeez.
take like 5 miles to stop.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
There we are. So don't get in the way of container ships. Smash up
Full
your
of
Lego
Lego.
brick sets, give them to your kids in boxes, and rip up the instructions. That'll do us, won't it?
Send the instructions to
Yeah,
me.
we'll
Don't
do
make a pretty penny on eBay.
We'll record part 2, hopefully with Adam next week.
Just in due course, at some point.
Yeah, in
or
due
another.
course, yeah. So, as soon as Adam's available for this one, bang.
Paul, where can we find you?
You will find my 2 little shops online, Rocket Punch Collectables and Curiosity. They're both, you can find them both very easily on Facebook, and they're on eBay. And yeah, I've not listed anything in the past couple of weeks. I've had a hectic couple of weeks. This month it's all about listing, banging the listings out. So yeah, keep a lookout. There should be loads of nice stuff.
Cool. And most places where you can find our podcast, you'll find them linked below.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Roscoe?
You can find me on the PlayStation networks. I'm playing Everybody's Golf at the moment, and the
Has
new Battlefield.
anyone found you on Everybody's Golf and run you over with a tank yet?
No.
Come on,
Nobody-
internet.
Not one person has added me. That's how, probably how many people who listen to our podcast actually are just my friends already.
You
on
people
PlayStation
in
Network.
California, what are you doing?
It's weird, isn't it, that people listen to our show abroad?
Find Roscoe on on PlayStation Network, you Californian people, who we really appreciate. Thanks for listening. It spins us out that you're all the way over there in California listening to us, but hope the weather's nice. It's all right, yeah?
And if you're ever over here, check out Botherston Tank Museum.
Yes, true.
Yeah, it's a
Hey, we're
lovely
not
little
allowed to
place.
bring up old jokes like that.
Yeah.
And me, you can find me editing this podcast, hanging out on the SNEW with the Crew Facebook page, and checking the email for listeners' emails. We're not had any for a little while, so if you fancy engaging, asking a question, getting involved with the conversation, drop an email to snewwiththecrew@gmail.com. Oh, and there's also my music page, I suppose, Chris Quinton's Music and Things, which is, well, I'm still slowly working towards stuff to put on there, but, babies and dogs and life and stuff. So, yeah. Outside of that, you can find this podcast pretty much anywhere where you'd usually find your podcasts, to be fair. You're already listening to it, so just Google search SNEW with the Crew and show the results to your friends, maybe. That would be nice. Leave us a review on iTunes, that sort of thing. All of the above gratefully accepted. We should mention Sticher and Libsyn, shouldn't we, really? Because we're contractually obliged. But there you go. Right, that'll do. You've been a listener. We've been SNEW with the Crew. Thanks very much, folks. We'll see you next time.
It's alright, you shitters.
Ta-da.
Bye-bye.